Hi, welcome to our YouTube channel Gate Arena. In today's lecture, we will going to talk about the historical approach used in the design thinking. In this, we will going to understand the roles and the origin of a design thinking to understand the true concept from where the design thinking originate. So the first attempt for the design thinking was made in the 1960s. In 1960s, attempts were made to make a design scientific. That means people applied the scientific methodology and the process to understand every aspect of a design. That is how it functions and what it is influenced by. Then, in the mid 60s, Horst Rittel, who was the professor of design methodology at the Ulm School of Design, Germany, has spoken extensively on the subject of a problem solving in design. And he was the first person who coined the word wicked problem, which is to describe the problem which are multidimensional and extremely complex. So, Rittel specifically focused on how design methodology could be used to tackle a wicked problem and how these methodologies were influenced to the work of many designers, practitioners, and the academicians of that time. So when we are talking about the wicked problem are the problem with the many independent factors, making them seem impossible to solve because these factors are often incomplete in flux and difficult to define. Solving wicked problem required a deep understanding of a stakeholder involved and an innovative approach provided by the design thinking. We can say the complex issues such as healthcare and education are the example of a wicked problem. So, wicked problems are at very heart of design thinking because it is precisely complex and a multidimensional problems that require a collaborative methodology to gain a deep understanding of human needs, motivational and behavior. Further, when we move ahead in the late 1970s, the principle of design thinking started to emerge. In this era, the cognitive scientist and a Nobel Prize laureate Herbert A. Simon was the first to mention the design thinking as a way of thinking in his book, The Science of the Artificial, where he focused on the approach of rapid prototyping and testing through observation. In 1970s, another professor, Robert H. McKim, the emeritus professor of mechanical engineering at Stanford University, talked about the design thinking in his book on experience in visual thinking. Robert focused mainly on the various aspects of visual thinking and design methodology used to solve the problem. He placed an emphasis on combination of left and right brain mode of thinking to bring about more holistical form of problem solving. Hence, we can say that the theory of Robert differed from the Simon. He focused his energy more on the impact visual thinking, that is, it provided ability to understand things and solve problem in a rational way. Moving ahead in 1980s, the design thinking was something known as the solution focused problem solving. That means we were talking more about the solution focus based approach or the problem solving based approach. In this, there was another emeritus professor, Brian, from the School of Architecture, University of Sheffield, UK, discussed the insight on the test he conducted. So he conducted a very interesting test. The main goal of this test was to figure out and compare the method used by the scientist student and the architect student, where he has given the same problem to both of them. So Brian asked architecture and the science student to arrange color block according to the set of rules. Some rules were unknown to the student. So it was observed that the scientists were problem focused problem solver, whereas the designer were solution focused. It was observed that the designer chose to generate a large number of solutions and eliminate those which did not work for them. So we can say that again in 1987, designing thinking was compared to the architecture one again. Peter the director of urban design program at the Harvard, published his book Design Thinking in 1987, where he focused on the way architectural designers approach their task through an inquisitive lens. Moving ahead in 90s, we have seen that in 90s the word widely accepted that the IDEO, which was the designing and consulting firm founded in 1991, and Tim Brown, who was the CEO of IDEO, played a crucial role in shaping the modern understanding of design thinking. Tim Brown popularized the concept through his writing and presentation, emphasizing its applicability beyond traditional design. Hence, we can say the IDEO is one of the companies that brought design thinking into the mainstream. They developed their own customer-friendly terminology, steps, and toolkit over the year and made the process more accessible to those not schooled in design methodology. Moving ahead in 1992, Richard, who was the head of design at Carnegie Mellon University, published his article Wicked Problem in Design Thinking, where he discussed about the origin of a design thinking and has focused on that how the science developed over time to become more and more cut off from each other. That means we are talking about the specialized domain here. He focused that design thinking is a means to integrate these highly specialized field of knowledge so they can be jointly applied to the new problem we face in the world today and from a holistical perspective. In 2000, David Kelly founded the Hasso-Plattner Institute of Design at Stanford, which is formerly known as the D.school. The establishment of the Stanford University D.school played a significant role in popularizing design thinking. The D.school emphasized a human-centric approach and integrate design thinking into various disciplines. The D.school has made the development, teaching, and implementation of design thinking one of its central goals since inception. It served as a source of huge inspiration to the design thinker across the world. And now, when we are talking about the present day, so you can see that now design thinking has become one of the state of the art methodologies which every person is using, every companies are using, and we have got the various pioneers like IDEO and d.school who have provided the path for us to follow. There are other prestigious universities, business schools, and forward thinking companies who have adapted design thinking methodology to vary their degrees and have sometimes even reinterpreted it to suit their specific context and brand values. Hence, we can say that design thinking continue to gain traction in business, healthcare, education, and government. Many big companies like IBM, Apple, Google are adopting the design thinking principle to drive their innovation. The approach was integrated into the business strategies, product development, and organizational change. Hence, you will going to find that lot of the big companies are using this design thinking approach. In next lecture, we will going to discuss about the five stages of design thinking.